One of the things to point out, I recognise that the individuals in the room that come to this particular event are aspiring to be leaders. So one of the things that we wanted to do, as well as having individual contributors in the room, is having leaders that have been through that journey. So Okta's been on a phenomenal growth trajectory. When they landed over 6 years ago, just over 55 customers, and they've now got over north of 1,000 customers. This is a company that has gone through mega growth, and Adam was one of the first sales reps in EMEA. And since that time, the team's grown to over 160 plus people. Adam's moved up the ranks quickly, going through an IC into a leadership role while at Okta. And he's recently recruited 6 sales reps and now responsible for a team of 11. And he's just going to talk about how you manage that fast growth, because particularly in tech companies, you have to up level all the time. So really looking forward to this talk. Adam, 7 minutes starts now.
Brilliant. Thanks, James. So yeah, we gave a bit of background. I've been at Okta for about 5 years, and I wanted to give a bit of background about what I was doing before that, just to give some context. So I worked for kind of a larger company called Equinix in the data center space, was heavily kind of infrastructure based as a product which got commoditized, and the kind of sales cycle went, you kind of go into an interaction, you go, how many racks do you want? We didn't have any competition. So that's the price, let me know, take it or leave it, move on to the next. So while there was a lot of people being really successful there, I just didn't really feel like I was being grown as a salesperson. I wasn't really selling. So I wanted a challenge. I wanted to go into an organization that was kind of had all the validation and success in the US. So you could bring, and you had stories to tell here in EMEA, but it was still really kind of building and kind of first few on the ground. And Okta was the absolute perfect fit for that. I think I was in top 10 employees that started in EMEA, which was great. Some of the others are in the room at the moment. And it certainly kind of took every kind of aspiration that I wanted in the next move to an organization that was fast growing and was really creating demand in a market rather than capturing it. Equinix was about kind of there's a bunch of demand in the market, and all you had to do is get your arms around it and make sure it comes towards you. Okta's much more about going out there, especially 5 years ago. It was about going out into a market, creating demand, and kind of selling a product to people didn't even knew existed. And 5 years ago, selling cloud identity was quite a tough gig. So I wanted to share 2 things that kind of the first one was kind of what I think a lot of my early success of a rep was kind of attributed to. And then the second was the migration from a rep into management. So, so the first was focus. And that comes in a number of different forms. Talking about selling internationally, my first patch was half of EMEA. So constantly doing deals in Israel, doing in Sweden, the UK, Italy, probably doing a really bad job of selling internationally. So one of my first mentors at Okta was kind of his mantra was, it's all about focus. And don't try and touch everything. Don't do the spray and pray approach to selling. Really focus on where you know you can win. So we kind of drilled down. So Israel was a big market for us. There's a lot of tech startup where propensity for Okta was key. And also the UK, we're based here, so it made sense to focus on the UK and really drill down on them and conquer those markets and then move on to the next. The second area of focus was around channel. We knew that we're not going to be able to hit the scale and growth that we've hit now without leveraging the channel. And again, early on, we were kind of focusing, we were trying to be every partner, every reseller, every kind of other technology partner's best friend, trying to kind of manage so many relationships when actually what we need to do was focus on a couple. We were spread so thin across so many channel partners, so many resellers, and they kind of knew that we were in their office next. We're in another, the next week, the next day, we're in another channel partner's office, kind of trying to do the same thing with them. So a couple of years ago, again, some early mentors and some of the early team really decided to drill down and focus. You know what, let's go and nail a couple of channel partners, dedicate all their time. So we dedicated each rep to a channel partner. They put all their love, all their attention. I was in their office every week. I was calling them every day. I was bringing them pretty much every direct opportunity we had, we were bringing towards them. And it absolutely worked. We went in because we focused on a couple of partners. They felt the love and they gave us the business back. The third area of focus that was key for us was industry and vertical. We weren't verticalized. We're still not verticalized. But if I look around the room and and back into the office, I look at some of the most successful reps. They're the people that are going into industries, going into markets, and creating ecosystems. Because everyone knows in the room that industry leaders, industry kind of figures talk. They network. They go to the same social events. They move around. So you kind of build this ecosystem that isn't by design or because of the technology, but it's because you're selling into an ecosystem where people talk and people don't want to see what other people are doing. They don't want to get left behind. And then the second area I want to talk about was kind of progression. So kind of came in as a corporate rep, kind of corporate SMB rep, then moved up into mid-market, then moved into enterprise. And then most recently, earlier this year, I moved into a management role. And that was something I'd always aspired to do. I actually worked with Lauren at Sales Confidence a number of years ago, and I actually knew that my destiny was always get into management. I knew it was something I wanted to do, and Okta was a perfect place to do that. And the big thing I think that made it possible for me was, one, because I communicated it early in my career. I knew, so it was on everyone's agenda that I wanted to move into management. So it was always in the back of kind of our sales leaders' minds. So people like Dave, people like Ken, who's not in the room, they knew that was an avenue that I wanted to pursue. And the second one was being a leader before you're in a management position. So there's reps that come in and they're hugely successful. They do deals, they do big deals, they smash their target, but then they go home at the end of the day and they're kind of in it for themselves. And some of them go through their career and make a huge amount of money. But there's reps that come in and they be part of the team. They help others. They help management with direction, with team planning, with account planning, with territory planning. They help new people into the team kind of ramp up, be successful. And that's certainly something, one, I enjoyed being, and also I thought it was an opportunity to demonstrate to management at Okta that was something that I was keen to do and something I was quite good at. And then, so when the opportunity came up, they probably had every opportunity to go out to a more experienced sales leader with far more people management skills than I've got. But what they didn't have was, one, I had demonstrated I had those skills, but also it was more about knowing that the desire was there. I knew the company. I knew how to get things done at the company. So yeah, that's pretty much it. As I said, that was kind of to summarize. It's about finding the company that you kind of really know that you want to work for, and you know you're going to be passionate about working for, and growing as a salesperson and as an individual. Secondly, focus. Don't try and do everything because you're going to fail. You have to kind of take the shots you know you can hit, and focus on the markets and channel partners you know you can work with. And then thirdly, kind of get your agenda out to management early so they're kind of focused on it. And then when the opportunities do come up, hopefully you're going to be front of mind. So yeah, I'm going to be in the room till kind of probably the last one in the room. So let me know if you want to kind of have a chat or LinkedIn with me. So hope you enjoyed.